At 10, I have Stafford. Now, I will take a break to
I'm
talk about
top
Stafford.
10. Yeah, I'm just to say too that looks like our top 10 is like the same guys. I
I think
think it's
so.
just the order. Yeah.
And yeah, and I think the top 10 is honestly this might be sound hot takey, but I think the top 10 is pretty like as far as like evidence
Feel
and
good about
projecting, it's
it. Yeah.
pretty obvious what the top 10 is. Um but that doesn't mean that guys can't move up, right? Like there's
Right.
plenty
Right.
of
Right.
dudes that can move up into this tier. Um, I've Stafford. Listen, Stafford is a guy that if he's healthy this season, Dakota, the Rams can go on a Super Bowl run. That's just a fact. That's how much I believe in the Rams. But the health is a question mark. And I think he could be higher on this list if he didn't have that question mark. He's just getting up there in age, man. But good Stafford, dude. When Stafford's on, he's top 3 quarterback in the league, dude. And it's fun to watch. But sometimes you get bad Stafford, sometimes you get injured Stafford. But right now, I think he's still top 10. At 9, I have Goff.
Oh,
Golf has
interesting.
been Golf has been disrespected, I think. And like people continue to kind of disrespect Jared Goff and not put him in the top 10. And I mean, ESPN had those NFC rankings, and you said Golf didn't even make a guy's list in the top 5 for NFC. That's just asinine. And listen, you can argue the Ben Johnson factor and will Goff fall off with that, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, he's really good within a system. He took Sean McVay's system to a Super Bowl. He has the Lions cooking, right? Like they were disappointing that they lost in the divisional last year, but I think it was just unfortunate that they went up against Jaden with that banged up defense. And honestly, dude, I think Golf's going to be fine. Like I think they're going to be fine. I don't think there's going to be a massive fall off without Ben Johnson. I really don't. And he's been one of the most consistent guys in the league since he's gotten into the league. Um, Baker, I have at number 8. Baker is listen, man, Baker's can be volatile, but again, kind of like Stafford, when he's good, dude, he's one of the best. And another team in the Bucks that I think can make a run this year. 7, I have Stroud, CJ Stroud at number 7. Again, after his rookie year, people were talking, "Oh, is he in the top 5? Is he entering that top 5 range?" And I listen, I have some question marks about Stroud. I specifically have question marks about the Texans more than Stroud because I think the Texans are
Mm.
starting to fail Stroud in a massive, massive way, and they have a ton of question marks going into the season with the offensive line in particular. But listen, there's something about a guy that consistently wins his division, has won 2 playoff games in back-to-back seasons. There's something to that, man. Getting in the dance every year is so crucial. You give yourself an opportunity to win it every year if you're in the playoffs. So I got to put Stroud at 7, and that is my franchise guys tier.
Oh man. All right. I obviously have the same guys, so I'll share mine as I go through them here. So at 10, I also have Stafford. I agree on that. 10
Okay.
is Stafford. I moved him a little bit around before I finalized this, but I think the age, like, it's interesting because he's one where like his grading does not match up with how I feel he plays because he honestly is not graded super well with PFF. But the guy, he makes big plays in big moments pretty consistently, and I completely agree. Where the Rams, if he is healthy and his arm isn't shot at his age, the Rams can go on a run with Matt Stafford at the helm. So I have him as 10 as well. Coming in at number 9 for me is CJ Stroud. I have
Okay.
Stroud at 9. Um, you know, he did not play anywhere near as bad as people want to think that he did last year. They think this fall off happened, but really, I think the situation around him fell off more than anything. He was still top 13 in passing grade and passing under pressure with PFF. I think he did take like a mini step back and didn't grow linearly like people want to see. And I think 2 really great seasons of him. I'm putting him at 9. Um, and then at 8, I have Baker. So
Okay.
we have Baker both
Baker
at
landed
8.
in the same spot. Okay.
Baker is 8. I think, man, he has probably been one of the most underrated in the NFL over the past
Yes.
couple seasons. Like the guy was like tied for first and I think second in passing yards and touchdowns this past season. His problem is, and he's top 10 in PFF
The
grading in both those
turnovers.
statistics.
The
And
turnover
it's
worthy
not even just
plays.
yes, and it's the impact of them because
Mm.
he tends to have them in the worst possible moments, and it's ones where like if even if guys like Lamar or Josh Allen have a fumble here or there, like it's redeemable. Like they can recover from it, but Baker tends to have those in like the worst moments where it's like you kind of pinpoint the loss on him. And if he could just eliminate those from his game, he could continue to elevate up this list. But I have him at 8 for now. Coming in at 7, who I suspect is your number 6, maybe, is Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
I have Daniels at 7.
You'll be surprised.
And man, I think
man, you're high on golf, dude. I love it.
I am.
I love it, man.
So I might just finish. I don't know. I may not finish my top 5. I'll cut off at 6 here, I guess. I don't know, because I have this section is called greats. Okay. So this section is just called greats. But yeah, Daniels at 7 for me. It feels a little weird to put him above Stroud, but like, man, was he special. And after all the stuff about too young to say and we got to see more, it's like maybe I feel like I'm overrating one season of good play. But if I went back and watched some of him, oh my gosh, dude, like the throws that he made, his ability to keep calm under pressure.
OT. Oh, dude, Jaden was so good.
In the corner of the end zone on the right side. Like he just, passing wise, and again, Eagles fans are going to hate hearing this, but passing wise, he was elite last year. He was elite
compared to Hurts.
It was, and with a worse supporting cast that may get worse this year, which I would hate to see.
They gotta pay Scary Terry, man. Pay that man.
If you don't, Jaden Daniels could regress next year because of that, and his offensive line play was okay. But what I think Jaden may already be the best at in the entire NFL is scrambling. Not
man.
Designed runs, but scrambling. Lamar's the best runner. He just is. But scrambling-wise, ability to evade pressure and just make something of it, elite. And doing that immediately at that level was ridiculous. And honestly, Lamar kind of did the same thing because people just can't tackle them. But he comes in at 7 because of that for me. Just a phenomenal rookie season. And if he just plays the exact same next year, I think he still deserves that rank.
I agree, man. I'm so high on Jaden. And we've been kind of like priming Commanders fans to say, hey, there could be a regression. And I'm still going to stand behind that. But I think there was levels between Jaden's rookie year and Stroud's rookie year. Both phenomenal, right? Both absolutely incredible. But I think Jaden's was better. I do. And it's not just because he went to the NFC Championship game. I just think overall it was better. And coming out of college, dude, people were questioning, okay, Jaden's sack avoidance. Like he tries to extend too much. Kind of like Caleb, right? It's a very similar conversation. The difference is Caleb's played out last year and it was a problem, right? He couldn't avoid the sacks that he could avoid in college. Jaden could. Like Jaden could. And Jaden is in that category of Lamar and Josh Allen. And I think that's it. It's Lamar, Josh Allen, and Jaden Daniels of who do you want on 4th and 2? Give me those 3 guys. Those 3 guys on 4th and 2 are quite literally unstoppable. You like no matter what. And that was what made the Commanders so dangerous last year. Dan Quinn was like, listen, I know what I have in Jaden Daniels. I'm going to be aggressive on 4th down and let him do his thing. And dude, in those short yardage situations, you might as well just be like, what, like, we just got to give it to him. Like, don't even say, oh, you know, we get, if we just get past 3rd down, we're good. Nope, because you have to worry about Jaden on 4th and 3 or 4th and 4, 4th and 2, and he's going to convert and extend the drive. So Jaden is so special in that way, and he's in the tier of his own with Josh Allen and Lamar as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
So I'll just get into my next tier. Elite adjacent. This is my elite adjacent tier.
I like that.
Made up of 2 guys.
I like
number 6, Justin Herbert. The what if social media quarterback, if you will. Listen, man, Herbert is elite, dude. Like or elite adjacent in my words. Yeah. So, I mean, and again, Herbert's a guy that it's very fair to question his postseason play. He has had some meltdowns in the postseason, and that's entirely fair. But at the end of the day, in the regular season, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL on a throw-by-throw basis. And again, a lot like Stroud, it's like I at least want my guy to be able to get me there, right? I have to get there to have a chance to go on and run for a Super Bowl. And Herbert's been able to do that on a pretty consistent basis. So Herbert's at number 6. And I get a lot of people on social will think that's too high because, the what if, whatever. But I still am very high on Herbert. I have Jaden at number 5, man. I just got done talking about Jaden and why he's number 5 for me. Listen, I think this ranking worries me a little bit, Dakota, just because we have been talking about the potential regression and what happened with Stroud. But I think what the Commanders are doing, as long as they pay Terry McLaurin, I think what they're doing is they're building the team in a better way than the Texans did. And I think they focused on the offensive line, which is good. They just have to lock down his number one receiver because if they don't re-sign Terry McLaurin, 100% Jaden's going to take a step back. And it's just because having that elite number one guy is so crucial to an offense. And if you take that away from him and you rely on 30-plus-year-old Deebo Samuel to be that guy, it's not going to work out well.
I like it. Yeah. I will now catch up because I knew we would agree on this. The top 4 thing is very clear cut in my opinion. Number 6 for me is Jared Goff. And I know I have him a bit higher. I just talk about underrated as well. The last 3 seasons in Detroit have been phenomenal by Goff. And for a portion of that, they've had a great offensive line for the majority of that. But I don't think they've had a great supporting cast necessarily that entire time. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I personally think that the hype on him is a little overdone. Like people trying to clump him near Justin, and he's not Justin Jefferson and Jamar. Like he's just not. And J-Mo has been very hit or miss. And then outside of that, it's been a revolving door of Tim Patrick and Josh Reynolds or whatever. Laporta wasn't here until 23, and he still had a really good season 22. So I just think Jared Goff right now is playing phenomenal football and has elevated his team. There have been moments still with Goff's play that he has crumbled, and the playoffs was an example of that. But again, I'm kind of trying to separate that a little bit. But they were this close to going to the Super Bowl with Goff. And last year, to be honest, it's one of those situations with the Commanders game where you play it 10 times. That was the one scenario, or even 100 probably, where they get blown out like that. But his ability to elevate this team has been insane. Because like the first season, first couple maybe, I mean, even in 22, they started to get things together. Like he owns that, and he is the quarterback for the city, the franchise. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for the success the Lions have had. And you and I, we kind of talked about the Stafford trade stuff, and the Lions also won that trade regardless of the Super Bowl aspect, just because of what the Lions have become, because of Jared Goff. So
we might have to make a video on that, man, and set the record straight, dude.
The man deserves his respect. Let's also remember, he literally went 18 of 18 in a game last year as well. Dude was perfect. So I have Goff at 6 because I think he is the essence of elevating his team right now and doing it with a supporting cast that I think is good but not great, to be honest.
And you got Lions fans on our side by putting him at 6, but then you took a shot at Amon-Ra, so now they hate us again. Now they're out on us. So
everyone has to, if they're on my team, they have to be the best in the NFL.
Listen, I think Amon-Ra is definitely good, but I mean I agree with you. He's not in that absolute elite tier of receiver, but I just think his skill set's a little bit different. But you could absolutely argue that Jared Goff is a key driver in a lot of those playmakers elevating their play. Like, because like you said, J-Mo, he's developing and he looks like he's primed for a breakout year. But you could definitely argue Goff is a part of that development. And same thing with Amon-Ra. It's not like he was a highly touted prospect coming out of college and didn't have the elite level athleticism, but then Goff, took him and helped develop Amon-Ra too. Now I think Amon-Ra is definitely up there with, he's an elite receiver. But you could just argue that Goff is the reason he's kind of developed into that, or at least a reason he's developed into that. So yeah, I think you're right. I think Goff is absolutely disrespected, and I could see him at 6.
Yeah, and I think the thing that probably would draw him down for most people are the turnovers. And really, again, he kind of has the Baker issue of like when he does have them, it's a rough moment. He threw a pick in a game last year that led to a game-winning field goal by the other team. And again, this is kind of me. I always make jokes about like the cockiness of OCs and stuff, thinking they can get the most out of a quarterback. But I think I almost did this in this list where I'm like, I could, if we just got rid of that, not saying I could do it, but if we just got rid of that. And one thing to note with Goff that's just kind of insane is he's going into year what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. He's going into year 10 and he is 30. He will turn 31 this season and he's going into his 10th season. So like he
Oh, they
could be
got some
still
years
playing for
left.
another 8 years, man. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. So if he continues to play at this level, we'll be starting to have some really interesting conversations over the next few years. But number 5, you know who it is? It's Justin
The
Herbert.
what if QB.
What if the meme QB, the social media QB or whatever? I,
God, Emmanuel Acho's such an idiot.
oh
But
my
anyway.
gosh, that is the essence of the takes we are stopping. By the way, that is the
Yes.
essence of it. So Justin Herbert is elite, Jason, very much so. He is his pure passing ability is one of the best in the NFL, and he does it well under pressure, and he does it when not. Like he has been he's probably in that Dak but worse situational thing where he has had nothing around him for most of his career. I think Keenan Allen was there for probably like a year or two when he was already getting up in age, and like he's just not had a true number one wide receiver. The offensive line has gotten a lot better.
Interior
And then
saw some question marks, though, to be honest.
and the
Interior's never been
coach,
great.
he had one, not a great coach, Staley. Like he's just not had anything consistent around him for a minute, really. And outside of all that, you take that all away and just come down to what Justin Herbert is as a quarterback, and he is a fantastic quarterback. That's just what he is. I don't care about the winning aspect as much in terms of like the team winning success. Oh, who would elevate their team to win? And yes, he should do that more. And he does have an issue with like not winning in, head-to-head games against elite teams and whatnot and the playoff situation stuff. But like at the end of the day, from my perspective of ranking quarterbacks and what they are as a passer and a true quarterback, he's the 5th best in the NFL to me.
It's totally fair, man. And if you look at the 4 guys ahead of him, and everyone really knows the 4, they're on our graphic there, like you can obviously easily argue Herbert's had the worst situation. You can say,
Yeah.
well, Burrow has a worse line, which is true, but then he has the 2 amazing wide receivers. Like T. Higgins would be the number 1 wide receiver on any Justin Herbert team since he's been in the league. So it's like even that's like you probably take Burrow's situation, and then obviously Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen all have better situations than Herbert. That's just a fact. They have. So that has to be a part of the conversation. But again, the reason Herbert's not in that tier is because late in big games, like and this does sound like a shouty show thing, but it's there's something to this, right? When you need a drive in the fourth quarter in the postseason, you're still going to take Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, or
Yes.
Allen. That's just what we've seen so far. Now, I think Jim Harbaugh can change that. I really do.
Yeah.
I think pairing Harbaugh with Herbert, they will see team success at some point. The roster still needs work, though. They still need to give him that elite weapon. And Lad's good. Lad's really good. I just would love to see Lad as number 2. Like if it or even get a solid number 2 for Lad, then I think the offense will be elevated.
Agreed. All right. So now I'm guessing we both labeled this as the elite tier, which
Yes,
I
we
think
did.
is
The elite
fair
tier.
that 12% of the NFL, 4 out of the 32 quarterbacks being elite makes sense as well, I think. So, all right, what is your order for the top 4 quarterbacks?
At number 4, I have Joe Burrow. At number 4, Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty. Listen, the only reason he is 4 and not above these other guys is because of that like 4th and 2 factor. Like he just doesn't have that. Passing though, like as far as a passer, I mean, you take him with the best of them, right? Like you just, but he just doesn't have that second element to his game of extending plays or the running ability like Lamar and Josh Allen have. But he's fantastic, dude. He had they made the playoffs, he probably would have won MVP last year. It's kind of a goofy thing. Like that's a little bit stupid to me. That's like one game causes him not to win an MVP. When really like the season as a vacuum wasn't on Burrow whatsoever. I mean, he was working with the worst defense in the NFL last year, and their line still has a ton of question marks, and he's kind of navigated that his whole career. And listen, they're going to be a threat, man. They're probably going to be back in the playoffs this year. They can make a run. That's the thing. Had the Bengals made the playoffs last year, Dakota, I mean, they were
Oof.
going to be the scariest team in the postseason. There's no question about that. They could have beat anyone because they can hang. They can literally hang 40 on any team in the NFL any given week. That's how explosive that offense is, and it's led by Joe Burrow, man. He's fantastic.
How do you want to do this? Do you want me to reveal my number 4 or give my
Yeah, let's
analysis
do it
on
like that.
my number 4?
Yeah.
All right. My number 4 is Mahomes. I have
Wow,
Mahomes at number
Patrick
4
Mahomes at number 4.
because
Okay.
I think the 3 others of Burrow, Allen, Lamar, I just think they've been better. And I think if I'm in the Super Bowl, sure, give me Patrick Mahomes. I'm in a postseason run, but like overall, currently the last season, going into next year, I just think the other 3 are better. That's not to trash Mahomes, but I just think the elite, truly transcendent elite play we saw in like 2018, 2019, parts of 2020 and 2021,
Hasn't been
like
there in
it's
the
just
regular season.
it hasn't been there lately. And I need to see that full body of work from him because yes, when you get to the postseason, you don't want to face Patrick Mahomes. But to be honest, he's also been very helped and aided by an elite defense and mainly an elite defensive play caller and Spags. So he's still top 4 elite. And again, these 4, like we say with anybody, any given year, these are going to shift based on an individual season. And I think I'm probably basing it off of last year, in my opinion, of going into next year. And I just think Mahomes was 4th. Obviously, if we're doing an all-time list, that's very different.
He's
But like
number 1, and it's
yeah,
not
but
debatable.
I just think that I don't know. I just think that the other 3 have done more lately. And going into next season, I feel more confident in them overall, like who they are, what they're doing, and passing wise. And Mahomes has had some subpar play lately. The other 3 just haven't as much.
And I'll just reveal mine. I have Mahomes at 3, so I'm
Okay.
not too far off on you. And in our defense of our list, because again, if you're going all time, of course, Mahomes is number 1 without
Yes.
question. But like, dude, you can say, oh well, he's sleepwalking through the regular season. He's the Andy Reid saving all the good plays for the playoffs. Dude, if you flip those 1-score games that they had last year, they're not in the position to make the playoff run. They might not even win their division. They could have lost the division to the Broncos if all those wonky things didn't go the Chiefs' way last season. So it's like at some point you have to stop walking through the regular season, and you can't keep getting away with these crazy 1-score wins, and it's going to impact your playoff positioning and your seeding and getting that number 1 seed. So I don't think that argument is kind of lost on me, man, because it's like I don't think they're intentionally playing worse in the regular season. I just don't think they are.
No.
I will say though, if I'm taking, well, I think it's a debate between him and Josh Allen because Josh Allen has been absolutely elite in the playoffs, dude. I have absolutely no qualms whatsoever about how Josh Allen has played in the playoffs. You could even argue for Burrow's problem, he doesn't get there as often. But Mahomes is amazing in the playoffs. He does elevate his game. He consistently does that. And you can also, in his defense, you can argue part of the reason they haven't been as good offensively last couple of years is because the tackle play has been a kind of terrible. Let's be honest. The tackle play recently for the Chiefs has been really, really bad. They had to play Joe Tooney at left tackle at times last season. They kicked out their left guard to left tackle. That's never an ideal situation. And we'll see if Josh Simmons can come in and fix that in the draft. But I think that's one thing where I'll say, okay, Mahomes, I'll give him a little bit of grace with that. But to your point, you can argue part of the reason they're able to go on these postseason runs isn't just Mahomes' play; it's the elite play calling of Spags and Chris Jones and that really elite defense in the playoffs that aids him a lot. So, yeah, I think over the last couple regular seasons, you can absolutely argue the top 3 guys have been better than Mahomes.
Yeah, and that's where Burrow comes in at 3 for me.
Okay,
so we did just have them flipped. And I think Burrow's I mean, again, it comes back to like Heisman stuff a little bit where like Genty didn't win it. It's all, and weirdly enough, Travis Hunter wins it where their team didn't do great. But like, I mean, all intensive purposes, Joe Burrow probably was MVP last year in terms of the sense of the word and what it means of value. He was number 1 in passing grade and he was number 1 in passing grade under pressure. And that's another knock I give on Mahomes, that both Lamar and Burrow, Allen is like right next to him, but Burrow and Lamar and Burrow are both better under pressure than Mahomes. So that gives a little bit of a knock for him as well, because Burrow's been playing behind a bad offensive line his entire career and still plays as elite as he does. But like you mentioned, when Mahomes left tackles and then the Super Bowl with the Eagles, like he falls apart to some
Falls
degree.
apart,
Like
dude.
he almost completely collapses. And so I gave Burrow the nod because last season he was special. He was special and led the league in passing. And I just think because of that and looking at some of the grading and whatnot, I just give him the knock over Mahomes currently right now. And I think Burrow got disrespected because they didn't make the playoffs. I think he got slept on a good bit last year.
And how much you have to weigh in the Andy Reid factor, man? I mean, Andy Reid
versus Zach Taylor.
You can exactly versus Zach Taylor, which has been not great. Let's be completely honest. Andy Reid, you could argue Andy Reid has an argument for the greatest coach ever, man. Like that's with what Andy Reid has done. And listen, Andy Reid needed Mahomes to get over the hump. He did. That's a fact. He was in the league for years and could never get that Super Bowl. But he took so many different style quarterbacks, so many different level quarterbacks to success in the playoffs. Andy Reid has one of the best, coaching legacies of all time, man. And I think that has to be part of the conversation when we're talking about Mahomes and ranking him on these kind of lists. But again, Chiefs fans, he would be number one overall, even above Aaron Rodgers for me if you ranked everyone currently in the NFL.
And he's kind of the victim to his own incredible success he had in 2018 because we know what he can be every game. We know that he can be. Yeah. He can be one of the a top 3 quarterback of all time. We know he can be that. So it's more of me judgment on that of like Mahomes, get back to that, man. Like I want to see that more again.
And Chiefs showed up in the Super Bowl. Like I keep talking how he elevates in the postseason. Well, I mean, he has one less ring because it showed up, and it's not all on Mahomes. Obviously, that'd be an absolutely idiotic thing to say.
Yes,
and we just mentioned the left tackle play, and even the defense didn't look great in that game. They were just outmatched overall. But yeah, he's still 3 for me, 4 for Dakota. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
So,
and again, these top 4 guys every given season independently, it will be different
and flip.
And now I think ours are flipped here as well for what it's worth.
Wow.
And I got my reasoning to back it up. So
okay,
you like yours. Reveal 2 and 1, and then we'll discuss them.
I've got number 2, Lamar Jackson. You're right. I think you have Lamar number 1, which is interesting to me. I'm going to go to bat for Josh Allen for number 1 now. But Lamar has been phenomenal, man. Lamar has been, one of the most elite weapons in the NFL. As a passer, as a runner, in the design run game, Lamar Jackson is quite literally the greatest to ever play at the quarterback position in the design run game. He's unstoppable, man. He's unstoppable. And, it used to be a meme that he was a running back or whatever. He's one of the best passers in the league as well now. Lamar's question to me, and the reason I'll argue Allen over Lamar, is his play has fallen off in the postseason consistently. And people will bring up how, he was fine last year in the postseason. If you remember, we watched this game together, Dakota, Bills versus Ravens. In the first half of that Bills versus Ravens game, Lamar Jackson was not good. He just wasn't. Now, he played great in the second half, and I feel like his teammates around him, in particular Mark Andrews, failed him late in that game. But in the first half of that game, Lamar was not good, and Josh Allen was great throughout the entire game. So, and we're nitpicking here. Like, it's 1 and 2. We're talking about future Hall of Fame players now. Like, we're in future Hall of Fame territory. Lamar has 2 MVPs. Like, he's on his way to the NFL Hall of Fame. I just think if I'm looking at the complete body of work and regular season and postseason, right now I'll take Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and I again, that's fine. Everybody will pinpoint Lamar's overall playoff stuff. I think my reasoning for him being number 1 is I think more than anybody in the NFL currently, he is the key to their success. And I think without Lamar, the Ravens would fall. And like the level at which he's doing it is insane. Because to be completely honest, he probably should have won MVP last year, and he didn't because he just won it. He had over a 10-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, which is absurd. 41-4. And when he went to the playoffs,
41-4.
He had a
I can't
41
believe
to
it's
4 and
that.
didn't win MVP.
Man,
And in the isolating last year again, because as we're going in the next year, he did outgrade Josh Allen by 13 in the postseason collectively. He outperformed him in their game head to head and overall in the playoffs. So
it
he
just didn't
had
feel
an
that way,
elite
man.
game. It didn't, but in the wild card, he had an elite game, and I'm putting him at number one because I think he's also an interesting stat. He is the best quarterback in the NFL under pressure per PFF grading last season. He was the best under pressure, not passing grade, but just purely out of offensive grade. And passing grade wise, he was number two behind Burrow. I just think that, and again, I feel like Lamar is almost being slept on too, to a point where Mahomes did, but in a different way, where it's like he had the MVP seasons, and so we're like used to this, but he was even better last year.
He
Like
was.
he was way better than his MVP, his
Well,
second MVP season.
I will say though, what I would have done with MVP, I would have just inverted when Allen won it and Lamar won it. I think Allen should have
Northern's fine
won
with
it
that.
the year Lamar won it, and I think Lamar should have won it last year. But I mean I think these two guys, and how about I just got to touch on this. How about the 2018 NFL rookie draft class for quarterbacks, man? I mean that it really, and this is again going to sound a little hot takey. It kind of saved the future of the league. Like, and you could say, well, another guy would just plop right in there, but these guys have been the guys since the Peytons and the Bradys and the Breezes left. Like they immediately took over. And I mean we both have three of those players: Josh Allen,
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield in the top 8 in the NFL, dude. And yeah, it's just incredible. And then Sam Darnold's still on our list as well as a starter in the league as well. So it was a really really good class. Had to note that, but yeah, and again, we're splitting hairs, man. I would
We
take
are.
Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson 100%. And I do, and it was a debate for me. Like I debated both of those guys as well, but I just and it's interesting. The grades are interesting because overall, maybe Lamar did play better in that game, but I just remember in the first half we coming away thinking, man,
Yeah.
Lamar has not played well. And Josh Allen also had to play another game, but man, it's just tough, man, because I feel like Allen has gotten unlucky in the playoffs, but overall in their careers, Lamar Jackson has been not good in the playoffs. Where like I feel like Allen just got kind of not screwed, but just again, it's unlucky. The 13 seconds,
Yeah.
the QB sneak last year, that should have been a first down. Like all these things that have went against Allen, I feel like we could speak. I honestly feel like, and maybe this will get Bills fans on our side. I really feel like we could be talking like how we do about Mahomes about Josh Allen. Like if those games just flip and Josh Allen has 2 or 3 Super Bowls, then all of a sudden we view Josh Allen completely differently than we do Mahomes. So or how we view them right now, as far as all time status is concerned. So
What I would say, I think, because I've been inconsistent on like the body of work versus last season, but I think with these top four my elite quarterbacks, more than any, it was purely last season. Because that's why Mahomes is at four, Burrow's at three,
because they're all so
Allen is
great, it's
two,
like you kind of
and
have to
Lamar is
base it on
one.
the most recent
Exactly.
thing.
Because your points on the playoffs are 100% true. Like with Lamar, and the Titans with Ryan Tannehill beat the
Yeah,
crap out of them. So like I
exactly.
saw that. But like last season specifically going into 2025, I just felt like Lamar was the best quarterback in the NFL, and he had that kind of unlucky. Wasn't the best pass in the world, but Mark Andrews should have
Oh,
caught that,
oh
and he
yeah,
didn't.
he did.
And so so both of them have now had those tragic moments that
They have.
are going
Dude,
to
it's
keep
so
handing
sad.
Mahomes Super Bowl appearances.
And and being completely candid, I'm a Colts fan. I don't think I've said that on this pod yet for new listeners. So of course I'm rooting for the Colts, but I know realistically we have absolutely zero chance. I want Lamar or Josh Allen to win it this year. I do. I want one of
I
those two
agree with that.
guys
Yeah.
to
Or
win it.
Burrow. I'll throw Burrow out there.
Yeah,
I
and
would
I'll
love
throw Burrow,
any of them.
but even
But those
I
two
just
haven't made it.
I know. I just feel like they haven't made it, and they just overall, it just feels like, man, those guys they need one. They
They
deserve one.
do.
They've done enough to have one at this point, but they have kind of gotten unlucky. I will say though, I keep kind of like harping on Lamar's postseason success. He was better last year in the postseason compared to previous years, because previous years he was pretty
He was
bad
bad.
in the postseason. I still think Josh Allen has been better even last year in the postseason. But yeah, again, it's like it's the top four quarterbacks. I would start my franchise with any four of these top four guys. I think these are the most obvious tier on the list, Dakota.
Absolutely. And I think the beautiful part about it too is they're all four still relatively young. And I
And in
think
the AFC,
that's
by the way,
exciting.
which is
And that's
ridiculous.
tragic for us as fans, man.
Yeah.
Like any other AFC team fans, you can for those four, you all are, you're living high life constantly. But
Yeah,
everybody else in the
exactly.
AFC, like
I'm
us,
so jealous of Bills
I'm like,
fans,
oh
dude.
man, I got Cam Ward. Even if he's great, not good enough. Like that's not going to be enough. So you're going to have to go through typically a combination of at least two of these any postseason to
Gauntlet,
get to
man.
a Super Bowl. And that's
Absolute
not
gauntlet.
including Justin Herbert. Yeah, it's not even including CJ Stroud, who's also in the top 10 with these. Like the AFC is loaded at quarterback, and it probably will be for the next 8 years with these four at the
Yeah,
top. So
exactly.
good luck anybody else. But yeah,
Exactly.
I think those four are in a league of their own right now. They just are. And next year it'll be funny when we get to the end and we this, and I'm sure they'll probably still be the top four, but the order will probably be different for both of us. They based purely on the 2025 season, I think.
Yep.
Because I
Yeah.
think Burrow could sneak to number one on that. Depending if he,
And that's kind of our point this whole show, Dakota. If you go through our tiers, it's like within each tier, it's interchangeable. It really is. Even in this elite, like Joe Burrow could be the best quarterback in the league next year. Patrick Mahomes could be the best quarterback in the league. Like if I had to make a future bet, like if I was on DraftKings or FanDuel and I was betting MVP, it would be on one of these top four guys. Maybe I'd throw Daniels in there as well, but it's like it would be on one of those top four guys, and it could be one of them any given season.